morning, happy Wednesday, happy opening day eve. I am Uncle Taz. I am here with Rob and Donald as always. And like I said, opening day is upon us. We are hyped. I'm hyped up. And I'm sure everybody else is. I've been waiting for this since the last out last year. It should be a national holiday to be up, my opinion. Everybody already knows that I won't be into work tomorrow. They've all been saying enjoy the game. So, what's going on? Before we really get into everything, on Monday, we got to the chat rather late. Let's not make that mistake again. Let's give some credit to the guys that roll with us every day. We got Donnie Clark in the building, Mike Perez, FL Diver, Medina, Jonathan, Dennis Breesy, good morning. Who else we got in here? We got a whole plethora of people joining us. Cold Italian pizza, like NFE says, probably one of the best tag names in the YouTube community. Right up there in the top there. TC Steels, what's going on, my guy? Joan Seco, good morning. We got, I'm sure Jonathan's in there somewhere. There he is. As always, riding with us. Brad, what's going on? Craig Smith, welcome to the Pitchlight Chronicles. If you've been here before, I apologize. I would have remembered that. I should remember it. But if this is your first time here, drop a 1 in the chat. Let us know that you are here so we can welcome you properly. Now,
salute to Mike Dennis and Craig Smith. Salute.
Yep. So when it comes to opening day, it really is a celebration. You know, it's one of those. It's a new start. You know, we get to see everybody come. You know, everybody starts with a 0 batting average. They start with a 0 ERA, and then we see how things just kind of unfold. The manager hasn't lost us a game yet. The bullpen hasn't blown a game. Just everything is fresh. Everything, everything's in front of us. What's going on, Frederick? Joe, see you coming in here. So it's something that I'd rather have opening day off every year. I've taken opening day off every year for 15 years since I've been at my current job. I'd rather have tomorrow off than Christmas Day. To be honest with you, that's how much I enjoy it. And the one thing that I have really enjoyed about this off season is we've had a front office that made adjustments. They've changed the philosophy. They've brought in players. They've let some of the kids earn a spot. With Heel. When I said they made the moves, they brought in Soto. They brought in Verdugo. We're seeing guys that Ferguson, I believe, made the team. Players that we've brought in have earned their keep. And it's not like we were just sitting going, all right, what's going to happen? We are going to have run support. We may not have our ace, but we have pitchers ready to go. They are not going to be cold. I understand that. But this is an opening day for the first time in a while that you really have more of a sense of optimism than the past few seasons. How are you guys feeling about
it? Which one do you want us to go first, Tats?
It doesn't matter. Whoever wants to open their mouth first.
I mean, I guess I'll go first.
Falling asleep there.
I'm excited. I'm really excited. It's like fun time. It's a fun time of year. So let's just get it going. I'm tired of waiting now. All the free agents are finally signed. We're ready to go. The team's basically ready to go. We know who's going to be on it unless a late trade is made. So let's just get it done. Let's get it going, man. Start the season.
Donald, how do you what do you got? What do you feel about opening day? How do you celebrate opening day? And also let us know in the chat, do you have a tradition on opening day that regardless of how you feel about the team, you have to do it?
So I've just changed my my screen name to A New Hope as opposed to Yankee Five. So that's where we're at. 0-0, everything to play for. We've got Heyman saying that the Yankees aren't going to make the playoffs. There's Baseball Reference says we're going to win like 71 games. Let's prove them wrong. This is a good team. I feel that this is a good team. Now there are issues here. There's issues that haven't been addressed, and it's going to be vocalized. And I'm going to take that opportunity to vocalize it whenever it rears its ugly head. But at the moment, it's a new hope. We're all just batting 0-0-0, everything to play for. It's exciting. This is an exciting time. It's a fresh start. This time last year, I was a lot more negative about where we were, because look at that team I had. It was terrible. Josh Donaldson, Aaron Hicks, and I was like, this team has no hope. And that's exactly how it turned out. This season's the opposite. I really do feel that there is hope here. I really do feel that there's something special here that could be brewing. The way that we came out of the blocks in spring, the first week, they were playing like their heads were on fire. They were literally just crushing the ball. It felt like every at bat mattered. And then, they got comfortable, and then it started to wear down, and then suddenly spring started to become a bit of a snooze fest. But the first week or so, I think, was a good representation of where the new expectations are. There just seems to be a little bit more accountability. And I think we're going to see an upturn in performance from certain guys. I think Rizzo's going to turn it around. I think DJ, when he recovers from his foot, I think he's going to have a strong year. I like the Verdugo pickup. I think Grisham's going to be a good pickup. Soto's going to be incredible. I have no doubt about that. Aaron Judge is going to be an MVP candidate. No doubt about that. So there's going to be a lot of good things here. Then we've got the young guys. I think Wells is going to become our everyday catcher very, very soon. And I love Luis Gil. Love him. I've been a big fan of Luis Gil since 2021. I'm so happy that he's put it all together. So there's some things here that we can be really promising. I feel is promising. Then you look at guys in the bullpen like Birdie. I think Birdie's going to be a good addition. Beater. I think they're going to have strong years out of the pen. Clay Holmes, I have no expectations for. So I wouldn't be surprised if one of those aforementioned names I brought up could supplant him as a closer. But as of now, he's a closer. We'll have to put up with him. But there's a lot of really good things here. But it all comes down to Garrett Cole. As long as Garrett Cole comes back, and it was just an inflammation, just a little bit of working a little bit too hard too early, and it's that case of resting that arm for 8 weeks, and he comes back and he's the Garrett Cole that we know and love, then this team's going to make the playoffs. I feel very strongly about that, but they don't have any further upside of than making the playoffs unless they add pitching. Serious pitching needs to be acquired sooner rather than later if they really want to be a World Series champion. There's no World Series at the moment with this, in my opinion. There's just not with Nestor Cortez becoming a prominent member of your rotation. It's never going to happen. So they do need to add another arm. But right now, I'm positive that this is a playoff team that we're going to fight play with the Orioles, and it's going to be a fun year. Let's see it. Let's go. We have to win 90+ games though, because the Orioles are going to be a serious threat in the division.
Yeah, for sure. Look, the Baseball Reference thing, they use some weird algorithm to determine their predictions. It has nothing to do with who's on the roster. It's like how they've done over the past like certain years or so. So they're taking into account last year's record and things like that. So no one should really pay that any mind. John Heyman's predictions, no one should pay him any mind. He's clearly salty that his boss's players did not go there, or they didn't offer up the money for his boss's players. So whatever. We don't need to prove him wrong. We don't need to prove Baseball Reference wrong. The Yankees need to prove themselves right, that everything they did this offseason is for a good reason. And I think they can. I think they have a good roster. Obviously, Garrett Cole being hurt hurts a lot, but Rodon is looking like he's going to be in for a bounce back year. I trust Marcus Stroman to just pitch to the back of his baseball card. And then it's about the next three. Can two of those guys step up? Is it going to be Heel? Will we see a lot of Will Warren this year? Can Clark Schmidt be better than he was a season ago? I think our bullpen is really strong, and we have a lot of guys in the Scranton shuttle that can come up at any given notice and pitch multiple innings for us. I think this is going to be a really good team. Now, it's just a matter of staying healthy. As long as the key guys stay on the field and we get the best name we could possibly get back in a couple of months, I think we're going to be okay. It's going to be a really good competition with us and Baltimore and Tampa Bay.
So,
and Toronto too.
Eastman's just as excited as we are because she is just all over the room right now. She's behind my chair. She's squeaking on shit. But no, I think the Yankees, and I've said it, could more have been done to give us, that security blanket going into the season? Absolutely. Am I in a doom and gloom, about, what wasn't done? I'm really not. I think that the rotation is still. You take Cole out of the equation. It didn't matter who else was in that rotation. It's going to leave that question mark. So I don't care if we did get Snell, if we did get Monty, if we did make a move for Cease, nobody's replacing that production. So you're going to have those nerves. As far as how far they can get. Look, we don't need a Cy Young from all 5 starters. We just need them to keep us in the game. That's all. I had to lower the expectation once Cole's out of the equation. Just keep us in the game for the offense to do what they're supposed to be doing, and that's putting up run support, and they can do that. So I'm not overly concerned. Let's just say I'm not worried, but I will admit that there is a concern as far as the durability of the starters. And as much as we've always had a solid bullpen, it's not the bullpen like we've had the last couple of years. We're missing pieces that were effective. So it's we don't know what we're going to get out of Loaisiga. We don't have Peralta to eat innings. He might not have had the best numbers, but he was available. He was durable. He stayed healthy. Canley's starting on the IL. So, there are pieces that we don't have that were brought in to be that cushion. Now we're going to be looking at guys that had a good spring, built our confidence, but now the games matter. It's different.
I still think our bullpen's going to be really good. Birdie has been better than a lot of those guys in this spring. And I think Clayton Beater is going to be a really, really big weapon for us. Aaron Boone mentioned on Talking Yanks that they're going to use him in multiple ways, which basically tells you he's the next Michael King. I think we'll get. I think if Canley's back within the 2-week minimum, I'm not too worried about his arm or anything. I think it was just I forgot what the injury was, but I think he'll be okay. And Hamilton was great last year. I love the Gonzalez pickup. I love the Ferguson pickup. I think we're not going to miss Wandy too much with those guys in there. Now we actually have 2 lefties, 2 good lefties, not one good lefty and one mop-up lefty in Nick Ramirez. And it's just all about, to me, it's about Clay Holmes. Can he avoid that month-long wall that he hit last year? If he can do that, I think he's going to be a good enough closer. Now, the other day we saw the good and the bad with him, which is the case with him every single time he's out there, but we don't really have another choice right now. We could have added a closer. We didn't. The prices were exorbitant for a guy like Hader, and the trade asking prices for guys like Clase and Williams would have been nuts. So they weren't going to do it. Can someone like Birdie take over that closing role? Maybe. Could Hamilton take it? Could Canley take it? If Loaisiga stays healthy, maybe he can. So there are options out there. I don't think Holmes is going to be the go-to closer every day anyway, but I've said this before and I'll say it again. He does have the best stuff out of the bullpen. It just doesn't seem to click with him every day, which is very, very concerning out of a closer. But again, we don't really have a choice right now. So you can only hope that he can do what he was doing 2 years ago instead of what he was doing last year. Because 2 years ago, you couldn't hit him at all. Dude was untouchable. And then second half of the season, something went wrong with him. But if he can avoid that Chapman-like span of a month long, just where he can't be used, then I think he'll be okay. But I wouldn't be surprised if a guy like Hamilton took over that closing role.
Oh, I could easily see Hamilton as the closer, and I would feel comfortable with that. But at the same time, we've said it. When Holmes is on, he is as legitimate a closer as in the game. It's right from the first 3 pitches if he has it or not. And at that point, you're stuck with him for 3 batters before you can even make a move. And at that point, most relievers won't be warmed up in time. So it just throws the whole. It really does throw everything off. But if Holmes can't figure it out, then yeah, we're in more trouble than we want to admit.
Rob, are you worried about Caleb Ferguson's spring? Because he was 0-1 with a 9.64 ERA. He gave up 5 earned runs in just 4 innings. Are you not concerned about that?
No, not really. His last couple of outings, he looked better. So, again, it's literally a handful of innings that he had. I don't think that's going to be a representation of what he does this spring because he's had a great career. He's been very good throughout his entire career. So, yeah. I just think he's just working on stuff as most veterans do at this point. We're not going to need him to. I don't think they're going to use him in like an 8th inning role or anything like that. But we just need him to get outs. The numbers are not good, but I also would prefer him over Nick Ramirez or Matt Crook. So I think he's going to be fine. I think him and Gonzalez are going to be a really good duo of lefties for us.
I think Gonzalez will be okay. I hope that Caleb Ferguson turns it around. It's a shame about Cody Poteet because he was looking great for a while and then he just fell apart.
Yeah, Poteet was that was a head scratcher that he didn't really make the cut. He was looking good in the beginning, yeah, and just wasn't able to seal the deal for himself, which is unfortunate. But I don't think that the book on him is closed. I just think it's the opening day situation, where they had to make some tough decisions. There's no problem. So, but hey, I'm talking here. Sorry about that, everybody. But it's. I just look when you don't have that Mariano Rivera, and I don't think any team has a Mariano Rivera, really. But we got so spoiled by him that's our standard. Yeah, so it's nobody when you get into that closing situation in the late innings, that security blanket's not there anymore, and I don't know if we'll ever get that back. So no matter it's going to be forever and ever. We're going to be, well, we don't have who's our closer, who's that lockdown guy. We just don't have that.
Not right now. I wouldn't say forever and ever. Obviously, never to the extent of Mariano Rivera, but. Not right now. We don't have a closer right now, but Holmes will just have to.
I don't think we were necessarily concerned, we were spoiled with Mo, but it was post Mo too. We had David Robertson closing games for us. That 1 year Soriano was a closer. Chapman in 2016 and 17 was untouchable. We've had good closers pretty much every year up until about, I don't know, maybe 2019 or 2020 is where things got out of whack when Britton got hurt and Chapman just couldn't get anybody out. So the last few years we've kind of had uncertainty with closers, but we've had good closers even post Mo. It was almost lockdown with David Robertson, and we can't forget how good that 3-headed monster of Betances Miller and Chapman were. So I'm hoping that we can get something close to that this year with some combination of a healthy Canely, Hamilton, Loaizaga leading the bridge to Holmes. And if Holmes can't do it, then they got to take him out of the role quickly. I don't want to see them keep putting him out there. If he struggles early, take him out of that 9th inning as soon as you possibly can, because I don't want them to keep thinking, oh, he'll turn around. No, if he's bad early, they got to immediately get a new 9th inning guy. And they have plenty of options to choose from. That's the good thing about this bullpen, because Nick Birdy is a guy with a 98-mile-an-hour sinker. That dude's stuff is filthy. Loizaga's stuff is filthy. So is Hamilton's, and a healthy Canely can certainly close games. So if Holmes is bad, and I don't think he will be bad, but if he does have those yips early on, he needs to get taken out of that 9th inning role immediately.
Yeah, you're right, man. The bullpen, I'm not overly concerned about the bullpen. I'm more concerned about the strength in our rotation. But again, the only question mark I have in the rotation is actually Cortez. I think Schmidt's going to be fine. I think Keel's going to be really good. I think he's going to be revelatory, actually. I think Marcus Stroman is going to have one of the best years of his career. I really feel that way. I think he's absolutely built for New York. I think he's always wanted to be a Yankee, and I think he's going to prove that on the mound. I think he's going to be our best pitcher in the rotation. That includes Rodon. Rodon, he's been up and down in spring. The spring starts where he sticks with his fastball slider combo. He's pretty much lights out. But when he tries to have specific outings where he's working on his off speed, that's where he's getting lit up like a bonfire. So that's obviously not a great sign if you want him to have a third pitch that you can rely on. But I think he's going to be fine. I feel pretty good. The most important thing about him was health, and he's proven that. So that's a good thing. We won't know until he takes the mound in earnest. But yeah, he's been a little up and down. Luis Gil's been fantastic, and absolutely, Luis Gil was the star of the show, along with Marcus Stroman. I was really excited about that. And then you go Warren, who actually had a fairly strong spring. I don't think he'll be far away at all. So I guess that's the next option. Maybe Luke Weaver. Luke Weaver had a bad start to the spring, but he closed out pretty well. So that's another option as well. So there are some options there. But yeah, the breaking news is that Jordan Montgomery is now an Arizona Diamondback. So that's my and Rob's last final hope of an addition gone by the wayside. We both had him as our target in the top 5 targets, and he is now an Arizona Diamondback. But I do want to take this opportunity to say that it has nothing to do with Hal Steinbrenner. So anyone who's watching, who's saying Hal Steinbrenner is cheap, we've got a $300 million payroll, people. He signs the checks. He's not the principal decision maker, right? Brian Cashman in the front office are the principal decision makers. If they feel that the money is worth it, I'm pretty sure that they would have strong-armed Steinbrenner to make it happen. But they clearly didn't think it was worth it. Also, it's rumored strongly everywhere that Jordan Montgomery wasn't interested in coming back. He felt that the Yankees misused him. It's been basically fed back on a number of different reports that he felt he was misused, and I don't think he was too happy about the way he was traded, because I think it affected his wife, who had to change, and then moved to Boston, and there's been a little bit of a up and down kind of situation at home since he got traded. So I think he's still pretty upset at the Yankees for doing that. So if you want to blame someone, blame Brian Cashman. He's the one that traded him. He's the one that traded him for an injured center fielder, and that didn't work out long term. So you know what? Tats was right. He didn't want that trade to happen, and it turned out that he was absolutely right, because now we're short of pitching, and we really could have done with Jordan Montgomery. It's a shame that we couldn't make it happen. I still feel we're an arm short, but I'm not blaming Hal Steinbrenner on that. Like, what more can the man do? He pushed for Aaron Judge to come back. He ensured that Soto trade went through. You know, he's the one that's okay to put this over the final luxury tax threshold. I'm not quite sure what more we expect of our owner. I mean, we can't. He's just not George. If you're expecting him to be George, He's not George, right? But he's as close as it gets to someone who wants to compete at the highest level, but it's also up to our front office to make the moves. What I will say is if the Yankees were truly hamstrung by the tax, then it was on them to be creative in the winter to ensure that there was options available, that they could have added more arms, but they didn't do it. So that's on them. They're hoping that this rotation is gonna do the job, and they're hoping that our farm system can withstand the injuries and come up and step in. That's what they're hoping for. Is it going to work out? I don't know, but it's not on Hal Steinbrenner to say so. It's not on Hal Steinbrenner to force Brian Cashman to sign people. It is up to our front office. I don't think our front office felt that it was worth it. And so I have seen on a number of accounts on X when the Jordan Montgomery deal went through to the Diamondbacks, Hal Steinbrenner's cheap. Hal Steinbrenner's cheap. Hal Steinbrenner doesn't care. I mean, what more do you want? He called Aaron Judge at like freaking 4:00 in the morning and ensured that he came back. I mean, if he didn't care, do you think he was going to sign up for a $300 million contract to Aaron Judge and then a $300 million contract to Garrett Cole? If he didn't care, he does care. So we have to stop that narrative. If you want to blame the pitching, the lack of pitching, which I do feel we do have a lack of pitching, then that's on Brian Cashman. I felt overall he's a decent winner, but I think that I think it's fair to critique when he says it's not pencils down. We're going to make this we want to make this an absolute, behem off of a team. And after he said that, nothing happened. Literally, not a 1-0 move. So you can certainly criticize that, but you can't criticize Hal Steinbrenner, man. $300 million. What more do you want?
No, but even with Cashman, like you can't foresee that Cole's gonna be gone for 2 months because he's been the most durable guy in baseball for the last 5 or 6 years. So it's hard to envision that your number one going to go down. I agree they should have added another starter. I was even saying go get Lorenzen, but he's signed now. Clevenger's still out there, but I don't think anyone in baseball wants to deal with him. And we all know who everyone else is for some reason still harping for, the idiot Bauer. But look, they needed a pitcher beforehand, but these guys outpriced themselves, or their agent outpriced themselves. Look how much they wanted compared to how much they signed for. And Joel Sherman brought up a really good point the other day. It wasn't just the Yankees that weren't signing Montgomery at his asking price. It was every team in baseball that was passing up on him. This guy is viewed around the league as like a number 3 starter at best. And he got $25 million. So our number 3 healthy would have been Marcus Stroman making 18.5. So I don't think that Cashman necessarily made a mistake in not pushing. Maybe they offered Montgomery like 20, 21 million, but maybe he wanted that vesting option. Who knows? Who knows what the case was until we have all the facts. We still don't know the exact offer for Blake Snell, by the way. It's been 2 months and we still don't know exactly how much they offered him. And I don't think we're ever going to know, but apparently the Yankees did make a push for him. Heyman said the Yankees were interested, but he liked the Diamondbacks offer better. So how can anyone blame Hal Steinbrenner for that? How can anyone say that they don't care? It doesn't make any sense. So they're looking for reasons to be upset the day before opening day. And you're like, oh, Hal Steinbrenner doesn't care. The offseason where he added 60+ million to his already high payroll. He got the best hitter from the left side of the plate in the sport in Juan Soto. He got a really good lefty outfielder in Alex Verdugo. He added a guy that normally would be your number 3. Now he's going to have to be your number 2. And Marcus Stroman at a really good price considering the market for pitching these days. And he added to the bullpen that needed some lefty help. He got 2 of them from a really good pitching organization in LA. So what more do you want? The Yankees spent. Hal okayed the money. Cashman went and got the pieces that we needed. Now, obviously, the way spring has gone, it'd be nice to have some backups in offense, that's for sure. But again, it's hard to really be like, okay, what if our 2 options at third base get hurt? We're going to have to sign 2 other third basemen. So, I mean, I'm not going to necessarily blame them for not having 3 more backups in tow, but I see that TC was bringing it up. I think another move is on the way, maybe a Rortvedt trade. They can't have 3 catchers.
Yeah. No, that's ridiculous.
No,
But
the
they have
whole
to
the
make that
whole
move today, don't they? They have to pretty much have to make that move today because opening day is tomorrow. So
Yeah.
they need to make that move happen because there isn't another third baseman on the roster that I want to be getting major league at bats. That's for sure. So you can't carry three catchers. That's really hurts our bench. So there are things I'm going to critique Brian Cashman on. I really feel that you should have added another bench piece. It can't have been difficult to add a bench piece. There's one that's sitting in free agency already that we've been talking about, Serrano. So you could have added another one right there. You can't say that they would have been worse than Smith or having three catchers on your bench. Is silly. It's really silly. But so I'm still calling into question certain things because this is an all-in year, and there's a lot of ifs in an all-in year. But I always call it as I see it, but I do see that this is a very strong roster. This is a determined roster. I'm liking what I'm hearing from Cashman. I do feel that he's accountable this year, and I do feel he'll make the moves necessary. I'm liking what I hear from Aaron Boone. Aaron Boone seems like a different manager this year. I don't know what's going on with Tats. He seems like a different manager this year, so that's really positive. And I like the mentality. I think the mentality will show tomorrow. I think you'll see a determined team, and I think they're going to have a strong year. I really do. I certainly, prior to Cole going down, I actually thought it was a 100-win team. With Cole going out, I'd say it's maybe a 90-win team, but it should be a strong 90-win team, and it should be enough to make the playoffs. But they will need to make moves. What I will say is they've relied too much on players that have an injury history. DJ LeMahieu has had a foot problem for a while. So there should have been more depth to support in case he goes down. There isn't a backup first baseman on the roster. Rizzo obviously missed most of last year with a concussion. And he's missed a couple of days in spring with a few ailments here and there. So there really should be more of a backup to him. I mean, I think that's just being realistic rather than being negative. But at the end of the day, there's a lot to be excited about. And I think the best aspect of this spring was actually some of the people that haven't actually made the roster yet that are going to make the roster in the future. Spencer Jones jumps off the page. I felt that Ben Rice had a decent spring. I think there was some really strong springs from our pitching, such as Warren. I think it was a good spring for our farm system. That's what my major takeaway from that.
Oh yeah. Arias the other day looked really good. Lombard had the numbers weren't great, but Lombard shows some stuff that you see for some good stuff from a future wherever they put him at third base or second base. I don't think he's going to be a shortstop, but Lombard showed patience at the plate, which is something you don't see a lot from kids that young. But yeah, the farm system looked really good, especially Jones. Jones looked fantastic, and we're going to see him sooner than later. Probably next year out of the spring, he'll make the team. But the future is bright for this team for sure. But again, with the infield situation, Peraza goes down so quickly in the spring. No one, you didn't see that coming. Especially the guy that he would have been the starting third baseman right now. We wouldn't be having to worry about who's going to start. And then LeMahieu goes down, and then Rizzo's dealing with stuff. So it's like everything that went wrong, it kind of went wrong in the last couple of weeks. Cole, then there was Judge's stuff, and then with LeMahieu and then Rizzo. I'm hoping they make a move. And Damian brought it up that Boone is kind of hinting that something is coming. It's not going to be a major move, but there's going to be a move in the works because I just can't see them having, maybe for the first day, because they had it last year. Florial made the team the first day, and then he was DFA, and they brought in Cordero, I think. So potentially they'll go into opening day with three catchers, and then there might be a move afterwards. And because they might do that in hopes that Rortvedt slips through the cracks and they can get him back like they did with Florial last year. Because after
they love that boy. I don't know why, but you love him.
We'll see what they do. I think that they're gonna go with, for now, they're gonna go with the three catchers. and Jahmai Jones will be on the bench. But after day one, it could be a lot different. The bench could look a lot different.
It's a good point about Osmus. I think Osmus is a really good addition to our coaching staff. I think he's going to be a really useful ear beside Aaron Boone. I think the two of them together, you should see actual good managerial decisions. I really feel that way. I'm quite excited to see the two of them work together. I really like listening to Osmus. Osmus is a pretty direct dude. He doesn't mess around, and I think he's going to be a really good member of the coaching staff. He knows ball. That I can absolutely guarantee. So I think it'll be a useful year for Aaron Boone. So there's a lot to like. There's a lot to like. I like our coaching staff a lot better this year. I think Brian Cashman has done some good work overall, even though I am taking some time here to mention and critique certain things that probably should have been addressed. It's not necessarily ripping Brian Cashman, because I do think that he's had a much better winter than he did last year or the year before. I don't think there's any question about that. I think a lot of the trades that he made were smart. The Dodgers trades were really smart. He got value there. You've added guys like Vivas, and then the two strong bullpen arms, taking advantage of the fact that Dodgers had to remove guys from their roster crunch. And we took advantage of that. That's smart GM work. So there's things to be positive with that. The fact he managed to convince Marcus Stroman to sign on a 2-year team-friendly deal is the steal of the offseason. I am going to say that. I really feel that Stroman is the steal of the offseason. He was our best pitcher, apart from Heel, of the entire staff, including Rodon and including the bigger names. He's outpitched them all by a good distance. He looks excellent on the mound, and we got him for cheap. We got him for basically nothing. That was a really, really good signing, and a lot of fans were ripping him for that signing. It was a great signing, because the thinking was, if we don't sign him now, we could be sitting on our hands and we're going to miss everything. And they were right about that, because I don't think they were ever going to get Snell after the initial talks broke down. And I think they knew that. And I think they knew that Montgomery was never going to be a realistic option because of the aforementioned relationship issue. And the fact the Yankees probably don't value much higher than a third starter anyway. So do they want to pay $25 million for that? So for those reasons, they signed Marcus Stroman, and it was a very good signing. I think they should be pretty happy with their work there. And the Soto deal is an absolute steal of a trade, and that's going to be proven there. And you added a fourth outfielder that happens to be a Gold Glove center fielder as your fourth outfielder in the same trade. Again, lots to be happy about. So I'm not ripping Brian Cashman by any means. I do feel that he should have made a Dylan Cease trade during the winter before the cost went up. If I'm being perfectly honest, I think he missed out on that. But overall, he's done good work. Overall, this is a good-looking team, and I feel that this team's going to come out determined tomorrow to start righting some wrongs. And I think the Yankees fans are going to be really excited to watch this product. I'm personally very excited to go to the stadium and see them play. I've got a heightened enthusiasm about this team that I haven't had since 2018, 2019 even. It's been years since I've been this optimistic about a team. And I usually go in my gut on that. I'm going by my past experience. The years that we've just kind of gone in with some question marks, like last year, the year before that, I foresaw bad things happening, and that's exactly what happened. I don't foresee that this year. I foresee something good, so hold me to that. Write it down. I feel this team's going to make the playoffs. This team's going to be a good team, and we've got a lot of exciting things to talk about this year.
Well, yeah, no, there is a lot to be excited about. It's like I said this in the beginning. It's tomorrow's a clean slate for every team. The spring training, last year's numbers don't matter right now. The spring training numbers, all right, practice is over. the exhibition games are over. Now they count. Now we'll see what your numbers are going to be. There's no erasing these. The numbers don't get erased until you get to the postseason. Then your stats go back to zero. So, there was a lot brought in there. One thing I'm with you on everything with Cashman and Hal. Look, they went all in. I'm just gonna, because I was having some issues with the internet here. Brad, shut up. But I think it was definitely an all-in season, just because nobody took the bait and nobody took the contracts doesn't mean that Cashman didn't, and Hal weren't trying to catch anything. So you can keep your line in the water. If nothing bites, nothing bites. Doesn't mean you didn't try. So you have to just realize it wasn't a money thing. Otherwise, after Soto, they would have never went after Yamamoto. They would have never given the offer to Snell. They would have never tried to make a trade for Cease. All those things combined, how do you say that he gave up on the rest of the offseason? Because nobody like I said, you can't hold their hand and force them to sign these contracts and sign these trades. So they were involved with everybody. Monty maybe he didn't want to come back.
I don't think he did.
Yeah, he might have said, no, there's no hard feelings, but that chapter for me is closed. So
I think that's exactly right.
That's just the way it is. There's nothing we could do about it. The roster is what it is. The infield, it sucks. That we had all these injuries happen all at once. So name me a GM that could pivot that quickly and address every issue in a matter of days. Because that's what happened. Everybody got hurt pretty much at the same time. Now,
Yankee King would have. Yankee King would have had this team winning 100.
Oh yeah, he would have had everything solved 2 weeks ago. Everybody up until last week, everybody was looking good, looking healthy, looking sharp. We were more concerned about plug-in players than full-on replacements. And the narrative that quickly just fucking changed, and it's insane. And it's almost like it's not fair. We were finally looking forward to the regular season, and the baseball gods again just take it. They take it away from us, and they have us start scratching
what
our
I
heads
will
again.
say though is it could have been a hell of a lot worse if Garrett Cole actually needed to go for TJ. Then
yes,
then none of this is meaningful. Everything is meaningless. If you was on TJ, you might as well just think the season. We're going to do anything. So thank God that for what we believe in, he's going to be back in June. So it could have been a hell of a lot worse. So you could argue that the baseball gods actually gave us a favor, if anything, because it could have been hell of a lot worse. I take this every day. If we have to deal with 4 weeks without Cole, then I'm okay with it, because I think he's going to come back, and I think he's going to come back fine and strong. And so thank God that, because I couldn't imagine a whole season without Garrett Cole, and then trying to talk about that 3 times a week, watching a team that was never going to win anything without Garrett Cole. Oh boy, that would have been hard work. So I'm very relieved. We should all be relieved as Yankee fans that our season is still very much on.
Oh yeah, but I mean, what they can do is, because we have 3 catchers, right? That was brought up. TC brought it up, and you were talking about it. What can be done? Move Reutefeldt for and some bullpen. See if you can grab Urshela or somebody that could plug in at third base. You also have, let's not forget about Torrens, right? May not have had an all-star spring training, but he was solid. He was all right. He plays first, second, third, and he also can catch. So there's your emergency catcher on the bench. So Torrens, maybe he sneaks in at the last, in the 13th hour as a bench piece. And he he's your backup first baseman, and third.
We'll see what they do. I don't think
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna trade for Gio at this point because we would have signed him if we wanted him that bad.
I'm just throwing a familiar name out there, but
We
I
could have
don't care
signed-
who it is.
We could have signed Rosario if we wanted to. We could have signed Tim Anderson if we wanted to. We still could sign Solano. There's still guys. Brian Anderson just got released, I think, and so did Matt Duffy. So there's options out there. And Brad, warning you.
Andrews got released too.
Brad, I'm warning you.
That's
You call me his buddy one more time. Call my buddy one more time, Brad. And I hope you're gonna get attacked by one of those giant spiders over there in the down under. But anyway, what is he saying here? We still need to see what causing the nervier. Yeah, I'm not too sure he's gonna be back in the like the 2 months they're saying. I don't know. Something's fishy about it. Like he's just overworked, and I'm not saying that he's going to be out for the season, but I wouldn't say he's going to be back by like June or anything. It could be a post deadline type of thing or all-star break type of thing with Cole, which sucks. But I just want to make sure that when he is back, it's at the right time and he's healthy. Because if they rush him back and he has to get surgery in like June or something, we're not going to see him next year. And that's the last thing they need. So make sure that everything's good to go, because I think he's going to start. They say he's keeping his arm live or whatever that is. So, I mean, again, I'm just hoping for better news. It's a weird injury.
It is weird, but Garrett, if there's one person that we can trust to tell the truth, it's Garrett Cole. He has always been very honest, and no one knows their bodies better than Garrett Cole knows his. He is very locked in, and he's made it clear that he thinks that he just pushed it a little bit too early, too soon. And irritated the nerve in his arm, and it's just a case of resting. He's been for a second opinion. He went all the way to LA. If that surgeon saw anything there, then it would have been called into question. He felt pretty happy with the rehab process. He's taken a second, third opinion. I'm pretty confident that it's just a case of resting. But of course, elbows, arms, shoulders, these things are tricky. It can all change from 1 minute to the next. But as of right now, I do believe it's just a case of resting it. He pushed it very hard last year to win a Cy Young, and he was carrying the team on his back. He was eating a lot of innings, carrying a very bad team on his back for an entire year, and then just a couple months later, he's fully blown pitching again. Maybe his arm just got tired. It happens. Thank God it's not a TJ situation. So I think that's what it was. I think it's more, as Joan says here, kind of conservative treatment, and he should be ready to rock and roll by the summer. I feel that.
Yep. So we're into the last, the getting to the end of the show. But one of the things that we always do before opening day are our season predictions. And what we feel would be the opening lineup prior to the game. So let's start with the predictions on some categories, and let us know in the chat what you guys think. If you are enjoying the discussion so far to this point, hit that like button if you have not already. If you are new, hit that sub button, share this out. Let's start with the pitching. Because that really was a focus for the off season here. Of the guys that are in the rotation right now, obviously Cole is unfortunately not a factor. Who do you see in this rotation as being our strikeout leader?
Carlos Rodon. If it's anybody else, I'd be shocked. If it's not Rodon, it'd be Schmidt.
Okay. Donald?
It's Rodon purely because everyone other than Luis Gil are more contact-based pitchers. So what I will say is Luis Gil averages 11 strikeouts per 9 innings. That he's done so. but he's I think the Yankees will take care of his arm, and I don't think they're gonna. I think there's probably going to be an innings limit at some point during the summer, which will obviously affect his chances of winning any strikeout Yankee crown. Garrett Cole will run it close. I feel Garrett Cole will come back ready to rock and roll, but he won't come. He's missing too much time, so it'll be Rodon.
Yeah, I'm actually right there with Damien. I think it's, and what you were saying, Donald. I think it's going to be Rodon, but I think Hill is going to give a good run for the money on the strikeouts because he is a strikeout pitcher.
Oh, he absolutely is, man. 23 strikeouts in 15 innings. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So of the, I'm going to say, we'll include all five on this question. Who do you think of the rotation gives you the most innings pitched?
Stroman.
Yeah, I agree also. I think they'll be very cautious with Rodon. So I think that, you might see some skip starts there. So I'm thinking Stroman as well.
Definitely Stroman. No doubt.
Yep. John's saying Schmidt. All right.
Interesting.
Well, this is, this is the fun of it because it's all guesswork.
What I will say about Schmidt is I was thinking about Schmidt actually, but the only thing with him is he doesn't have a reliable third pitch, and I don't think the Yankees are gonna want him to face the order the third time around. So that's why I think that he's probably got a 6-inning cap on him. He doesn't have the greatest tertiary pitches. He's mostly a fastball curveball guy, in my opinion. He mixes other pitches in there too, but it's not the best. So I think the Yankees are not going to want him to pitch more than 6 innings.
On the offensive side, who do you think leads the team in stolen bases?
Anthony Rizzo. No, Volpe.
Stanton, right?
Yeah, Volpe. If we don't have, he's the fastest guy. There's no, and if it's not him, it'd be Torres. That would mean Volpe's just not stealing bases, which I don't want to see. So Anthony Volpe by a long shot.
Yeah. That was because you did see a lot more aggressive. Yeah, you did see a little more aggression on the base stealing last year. Because normally that's not really a topic that we talk about with the Yankees. Is their speed on the bases? Cindy, I'll be realistic. I was seriously joking when I said Stanton.
I think he was no, I mean it's anything other than Volpe. There's I was just trying to think of being creative, but there's no else I can think of. So it'll be him.
Yeah, that's
if this was next year, it'd be more of a conversation because you'd have Spencer Jones in the mix,
Absolutely.
and then especially down the line next year, the year after, Arias will be here and Lombard. These guys can run. So, but yeah, for now it's Volpe.
So, the home run leader. Who do you predict will have the most home runs?
Good one.
Man, I want to say Judge. I know Soto just hit his career high last year of 34 or 35. So I don't know if he'll do that again. If Judge is healthy, he was on pace again for 60 last season. So it's Aaron Judge. Judge or Stanton.
It is tough because you have, Judge, you have Soto, Rizzo, Stanton, and don't discount Torres in a contract year to kind of turn the power back on a little bit. But until he's knocked off his, he's dethroned, it's got to be Judge. I can't bet against him to be, as far as a falling off on the home run circuit.
I'm trying to be a little creative here. What I will say is, don't underestimate Soto in a walk year, and also the fact that there's that short right field porch with his perfect lefty swing. I mean, the first 2 weeks of spring, basically every at bat was leaving the yard for Soto. So
So do we want?
I don't know.
Why don't we?
It's gonna be fun. Like TC's got a very good prediction here. Maybe it won't be as high as that, but I think those 4 guys are going to be leading. I think Stanton's going to have a bounce back year. Glaber's going to have a strong year, and Soto and Judge are going to be 1-2. I'm going to go against the grain. I'm going to go with Soto, even though I do probably deep down I do believe it's Aaron Judge, but just to go a little bit different, I'm going to go Soto.
I don't think there's really between Judge and Soto. There's a wrong answer. Judge, because we've watched him, we know what his abilities are, and that's an excellent point to bring into the conversation with Soto is the short porch. He might sneak a couple over, but I'm going to say what I think the starting lineup's going to be tomorrow, and then we'll see who agrees, who would be shuffled around. The only thing I did not really try to predict were the positions that everybody's, because you never know in 24 hours. But as of now, what we have on the roster, my starting lineup, I'm leading off Torres because we have a lefty pitcher. Then I'm going Judge, Soto, Stanton, Rizzo, Verdugo, Cabrera, Wells, Volpe.
Okay.
I think that
I'd go. I like I would switch Soto and Judge. I think it's going to go Torres, Soto, Judge, 1, 2, 3, and then Rizzo, Stanton. Who am I missing here? Trying to think of who's going to bat 6th. Would it be Verdugo? Probably Verdugo 6th. 7th would be Volpe. Or maybe no. Yeah, Volpe 7, Wells, and then Cabrera.
Okay. Donald, what would you change, if anything?
Yeah, it looks like Boone's kind of going with Gleyber Torres as leadoff hitter while DJ's out. I would have given it to Verdugo, but Verdugo had such a terrible spring, so I think he's probably more batting 7th, probably 6th or 7th, probably 6th. I wouldn't be surprised if Anthony Volpe makes a case to be a leadoff hitter. It could actually be as soon as next week. Say DJ LeMahieu needs some more time off, and Volpe bats over 300 over this coming week. I wouldn't be surprised if the fact that he's got that speed and the fact he's actually hitting for better contact, that he maybe leads off. But for the purposes of opening day, I would say it would be Gleyber Torres leading off. Then it'll be Soto batting 2nd, Judge batting 3rd, Rizzo batting 4th, Stanton batting 5th, Volpe batting Verdugo batting 6th, Volpe 7, Wells 8, Cabrera 9.
Yeah, I had Volpe 9 only because once you get through the first turn of the order, it's almost like having 2 leadoff guys. And I think, yeah, I do think at some point this season we will absolutely see Volpe as a leadoff hitter. I want to see the progress from the spring translate to the regular season before I move him up in the lineup. That was my only reason for keeping him in the 9 spot. It's not a punishment. I think that once you get through the first turn of the order, now you're going to have to deal with Volpe, Torres, Judge, Soto. There's really no hole in the lineup, and you really can, aside from Soto, Judge, and Stanton and Rizzo, with the 4 of them together. Insert somebody else anywhere else in the lineup. You still have a ton of strength. There's really no weakness
when LeMahieu's back too. If we had LeMahieu, this would be a much stronger lineup. The only weak link to me is Cabrera, but his last week of spring, he looked like he was swinging the bat a lot better. So I think for 2 weeks, he can handle third base, but I still want someone else back there that can handle third base just in case, because I don't trust Jahmai Jones as a third baseman. I think his bat's okay, but his defense at third is incredibly questionable because he's an outfielder and a second baseman. So I would like to avoid having outfielders playing at a position this year. So we'll see what they do there. But I think the lineup for now, I mean, that's the best way you can go, unless they start Trevino day one. If they want Trevino catching Cortez and they want Wells catching Rodon day two, then you can kind of change it up a little bit there. So I could see Trevino starting, actually. Now that I think about it, I think Trevino might actually start with the lefty on the mound. So I'd still keep the lineup the exact same way, but just put Trevino.
Let's get a few more predictions in before we close out.
What else you got?
Let's get batting average. He'll have the highest batting average. Now, obviously, you're gonna get a higher batting average if you only played like 3 or 4 plate appearances. It has to be over a certain number of plate appearances. But the best batting average on the team.
I'm actually going to say Torres.
Oh.
I think Torres is. I'm going all in on his contract year, and he is just going to go off. So I think Torres can be a batting average leader in the league.
Say Alex Verdugo.
Wow.
I think
That's
Verdugo's
not,
gonna have
that's not a bad prediction.
because I mean if I can pick the obvious name, it'd be Judge or Soto, right? I'm just trying to be a little bit different here.
Yeah.
If we're talking about contract years,
No,
would you say that
Yeah.
Verdugo can't just be like a freaking this guy that just hits for nothing but singles and doubles, right? And if that's the case, I would take that. Franchi Cordero, Willie Calhoun, Billy McKinney.
So we're getting a lot of votes for Soto. Donnie's also saying Soto for MVP. Hey, you never know. You really don't.
Well, I
MVP
mean, it's been a very strong spring offensively. Heck, even Stanton's bat over 300 in spring. Soto's bat over 300 in spring. Torres bat 356 in spring. So that certainly goes further to the Tats predictions. Also, Anthony Volpe had an excellent spring. I'm pretty sure he bat 314 in spring. So there's it's a tough one. And for me, it's between Volpe and Judge and Soto. I think Volpe is actually going to have a comeback year. I think he's going to have a good year. Wasn't very high in his rookie year, but I think he's going to have a big year this year. Give me Aaron Judge.
FL Divey here. Verdugo's the dark horse. He will lead the team in doubles for sure. That I do agree. I think he can be absolutely a doubles leader. This is also a very good point from Donnie here. It was with Ohtani out of the American League, it really opens it up for Judge and Soto and a lot of other players.
Oh yeah,
Judge would have been back to back. Judge would have been a 3-time MVP winner if he was healthy last year. Because I'm still giving him 2017. He was robbed.
Yeah, I definitely was robbed.
Who's going to be the OPS leader?
Soto. What Soto?
Would you say OPS?
OPS.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Soto.
Agreed with that.
Yeah.
Definitely agree with that. Who's going to be the RBI leader?
Aaron Judge. No. Giancarlo Stanton. Because those guys are going to be on base in front of him. I think Stanton's going to mash this year for RBIs. I think he's going to bounce back. I'm going with Stanton. I'm going with Big G. I got to pick him for something in these predictions. I've been talking him up all season long, all off season and spring. So I'm going with Big G.
I'm also going to go a little against the norm a little bit. I'm going to say Volpe's got the most RBIs.
Wow.
I think Volpe's going to have, I think he's going to push the ball a lot more. and spread it around a little bit. You get him in the right spot in the lineup, I think Volpe can have a very solid offensive year.
You might as well pick
You
Wade
actually-
Boggs, bro.
Huh?
You might as well pick Wade Boggs. I'm gonna go Soto for most RBIs because I'm also thinking about who's going to play the most games, and I think Soto's going to play the most games, so he's going to have the more RBI opportunities up near the top. Aaron Judge, he might need to rest a couple times with that toe and abs issue, whatever. So I think Soto's going to play more games, hence more RBIs.
All right. Yeah. TC's like, come on, Dad.
Look, TC had a good question though. He said, "Who has the most walk-off hits?"
Yeah, I was just going to bring that one up. If you want to, we'll give it a couple extra minutes. If you want to have us make a prediction on the season, just drop it in the comments. And we will definitely put ours out there. So, who has the most walk-off hits? Ooh.
Gleyber Torres.
Rizzo.
Yeah.
Rizzo
It's a good
has
one.
not. There's something about him in the moment. I think
Good one.
Rizzo can be that guy. No,
You know how many
TC
times-
should be-
I can see a lot of instances where like they don't want to pitch to Judge and Soto, so they both get on base, and then Rizzo hits a foul ball that just misses the foul pole, like he always does, 3 times in that bat, and then he walks it off. Chills, just like The Rock always does. I'm expecting to see that a lot this year.
I'm going with Gleyber Torres. I think Gleyber Torres is going to have the more walk-off hits, but it's a really good suggestion, Stats, which leads me to the next prediction. MIP award. Obviously, it's personal preference, but who do you think is going to be the most improved player from last year?
Just off of last year's numbers. All right.
Just off of last year, who's going to have the biggest jump? Who?
Stanton.
All right. Rob?
Yeah, Mike, I'm picking the guy to lead the team in RBIs, but you know what? I like FL Divers pick, Carlos Rodon.
Ooh.
All right.
I'm going to go with Rizzo. I think Rizzo's going to have a comeback year. I think Rizzo's going to have a great year. Rizzo's going to have such a good year that we're going to be like, should we bring him back next year? I think that's how good a year he's going to have. So, for me, he's going to be the most improved player. Obviously, personal opinion. There's no award given to that. But I think he will.
Jonathan's question here: over under 30 steals for Volpe.
Let me call Ipe and see what he thinks.
You don't want to call him, man, because he'll lead you the wrong way. He's in
Right,
$5
you're right.
million
Let me call
that dude can't bet.
Shohei. I'll call Shohei. Shohei, I know you speak English, my friend. Over under on Volpe steals 30. He hung up.
I'm going over.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go slightly under. I think he's gonna get like 27. Yankees don't steal bases that much, unfortunately.
Over under Yankee wins a 90.
Over.
That's
What was it? 90 wins?
90 wins. Over under.
I'm going to say over. I think they could still get between 93 and 95.
I would have said 100 if Cole didn't go down, so I'm going to go with 92.
Like
I'm
you're
with
thinking,
Medina
Will Star.
here. 92 wins.
Yeah, but Dina's with you. She's also saying 92.
Yeah, I think 92 is a pretty good number off the top of my head. Okay.
Nosebleed is saying, Nosebleed, welcome to the chat. Awesome name, by the way. He's saying, under without Cole all year. Well, Copeland, right now, the word on the street is it won't be all year. So I think when he does get back, they're still going to be in contention, and then they're just going to go. It's going to be a freight train. I think they have the offense to carry the pitching. Where last year we had the pitching to carry the offense and wait for them to pick it up, because we lost a lot of games by a run or two. Where if we had a legitimate lineup, we're winning a lot of those games.
Let's get a couple more in before we close out.
Yep.
Biggest surprise. Now, not the most improved, but the biggest surprise.
Biggest surprise.
I think Schmidt's going to have he's going to have an all-star year. I think he's going to make a push for the all-star game.
Ooh.
I think I'm going Schmidt as a surprise, and he's kind of going under the radar a little bit.
Talking to LA Yankee King too much.
Low blow.
He's been saying breakout for Clark Schmidt for the last 3 months. So I don't know.
I
Maybe
stopped
you're
listening to him. So
chatting with him on the low there. Biggest surprise? Man, that's a tough one. Clay Holmes. Give me Clay Holmes.
Surprised at how bad he is.
So far we're
My biggest surprise I'm giving to my boy. You're my boy, please. Luis Gil. He's my boy. I've been riding with him. I'm going to keep riding with him. Luis Gil. He's been the biggest surprise. He's going to be the second best pitcher in the rotation outside of Marcus Stroman.
probably not a surprise, but Birdie takes closer role. There you go, Rob.
Nice one, Joan. Joan, that's the kind of stuff we want to see. I love it. Love it. And that leads us to our third and final prediction. So I just want to be clear. Holmes is your surprise. Schmidt is your surprise.
Yes.
Heels our surprise. Okay.
All right, final question.
Then the final one, well, one of the final ones, TC Steels, best bullpen performer. Good job, TC. Who do you think is going to be the best bullpen performer?
I don't think it's going to be the closer. I think the guy that's going to be that breath of fresh air when he gets called into the game, Ian Hamilton.
I'm missing him. No, but you've been talking about me a lot, Brad. You're missing me.
We need to get that image of Aaron Boone. Like he just struck him out right there.
Brad, you've been talking about him just as much as I have lately.
Yep.
I'm just saying.
Damn, you can take the man out of Brooklyn, but you can't take Brooklyn out of the man. Rob absolutely just. I wouldn't have come back that quick. That's a.
Hot meat kettle. Not big. What was the question again? Best bullpen arm?
Yeah, best bullpen performer.
Yeah.
I've been hyping him up. Nick Birdie.
Good job, Tats, with Ian Hamilton. That's some good stuff right there. I'm gonna go with Peter. And over under the amount of times Aaron Boone gets thrown out of a game. Let's give the number 6.
Over. He's definitely going over 6.
It was for ejections?
Yeah.
Oh, no, under. I think he's going to be a little tame this year. He's going to try to be at least.
I agree. I
11.
I actually hope it's under 6, although I get great pleasure out of watching umpires get roasted. Watch as a sports fan, I despise referees. I despise officiating because most of them suck. So I quite appreciate a manager that calls them out, but I also felt it was a bit of a distraction to how bad we were last year. So I don't think there's really any noticeable difference it makes. So I'm going to take the under on 6.
All right, that's going to close out our prediction show, and we hope everybody did have
Oh,
some
we didn't,
fun.
one thing we didn't get is which pitcher will have the most wins. Did we?
No, we didn't. No, we didn't do the wins.
Which pitcher is gonna have the most wins? It could even be a bullpen arm. It really could.
Clayton Beater could potentially get that nod. Again, I don't know how many of our starters are going to go more than 5 innings. But
Well, that's why I'm
probably-
trying to figure out who will have the most innings. Who will get
Stroman, yeah.
I wanna say
My innings guy
Stroman.
was Stroman, so I'll go with Stroman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Stroh. Good job, Medina. Good job, Steve.
Yeah.
Oh, Jonathan's going Healer Schmidt. Carl the good old days, right? The good old days.
Memories. But no, so we'll close out the show today. Hope everybody had a good time with us. We had a good time hanging out with everybody. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that sub button, share this out with your friends, your family. The Strangers on the Corner. Also, tonight at 8 p.m., Lynn will be doing a special on women in sports. So make sure that you check her out on the stream at 8. She's got some phenomenal guests coming on. Talk about the past, present, and future of women in sports. So definitely check that out and show the ladies some support. Also, if you do live, I mentioned this on a couple of streams. If you are in the Long Island area, I will be at Prime Bar and Grill in Comac, Long Island, for the game. Come by, have a drink if you're in the area. Let's watch some baseball. So, with that being said, enjoy the opening day tomorrow. It is not a home opener, but make sure that you enjoy the game. And let's go Yankees, where you pinch ice your pride and play hard.
Let's go!